You're on your weight loss journey on Mounjaro and Wegovy, and suddenly you're feeling really tired. You're having a brain fog, it's hard to concentrate, and everybody's telling you, take some vitamin B. But then you go and check and there's so many different kinds of vitamin B. I'm Zainab, I'm the pharmacist from Pills Sorted, and I'll explain all the 8 different nutrients that are counted as the vitamin B group, and what do each of them do, how much of it our body stores, and what happens if we don't get enough of them. So the B vitamins are a group of 8 water-soluble vitamins that have amazing functions in our body. They help with our energy levels. They are needed for our blood cell production, for our protein metabolism, and our nervous system. So they've got a huge range of function in our body. And for whatever reason, if we don't get enough of these nutrients, our body will start having deficiencies very fast. When it's water-soluble, it's in comparison with fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin D, the body doesn't have enough and cannot store too much of them. So within weeks, you'll be depleted. And that can happen if you go on a crash diet, if you have bariatric surgery, or if you're on the GLP-1 weight loss treatments. The first one that we're going to talk about is vitamin B1 or thiamine. It's really important in converting the energy, especially from the carbohydrates, into usable energy for our body. So energy levels is really dependent on this one. It does support nerve function and heart health as well. Now, our body stores only 4 to 6 weeks of it, so that's why it's one of the first ones to get depleted. And when we run out of vitamin B1, it'll show itself with fatigue. So tiredness is one of the most common symptoms that you get from lack of vitamin Bs. Fatigue, brain fog, and loss of balance. So these are things that can happen when we don't have enough of B1. Which foods have got the B1 most of all? Any of the whole grains or fortified cereals, also beans and nuts. These have got a lot of vitamin B1. So if you're on your weight loss journey and you're not eating enough of the nutrients or any of these groups, and also if you're having side effects like nausea that is stopping you to eat certain types of food, that might affect your vitamin B1 intake. The second one we're going to talk about is vitamin B2 or riboflavin. It's part of the building blocks of 2 important coenzymes that are really important for your mitochondria function. Now, what does a mitochondria do? It helps your cells create and use energy. It doesn't matter which food intake you're having, be it from the energy from your carbohydrates or your fat or your protein, but that conversion of the energy is really important function that the mitochondria does. How much does your body store of the riboflavin? It actually stores very little. If you have a B complex and there's extra B2, that will be excreted in your urine. Hence, your wee turns bright yellow. But you will see the functional deficiency. So within a couple of weeks, you might see symptoms. The symptoms are fatigue or tiredness, and the other one is cuts in the corner of your mouth, swollen tongue. These are the most important symptoms of the B12 deficiency. And which food have got the highest amount? Actually, milk and dairy products. So milk and dairy products have got a really good amount of vitamin B2. Also eggs and meat. The third one we're going to talk about is vitamin B3 or niacin. And niacin is really important in energy metabolism, also DNA repair. Your body can make a little bit of niacin itself by converting one of the amino acids, but it does need all the other vitamin Bs to be able to do this, okay? Your body doesn't store that much of this vitamin either. So the deficiency can cause fatigue, it can cause digestion changes like diarrhea, it causes cognitive problems, so poor concentration as well as skin changes. Now, what are the foods that have got plenty of this in? There's meat, there's fish, there is poultry, as well as fortified cereals and peanuts. One important thing about niacin that I want you to know about is if you go too high of a concentration of niacin, it can actually affect your liver, so it causes liver damage. You really want to be mindful not taking more than the recommended daily allowance for this vitamin. The next vitamin is vitamin B5 or pantothenic acid. We don't have a vitamin B4, okay? And B5 is the precursor to coenzyme A. It does a lot of function in your body, okay? And it's really important in the metabolism of fatty acids, okay? A lot of the neurotransmitters need this coenzyme as well, so it does a lot of different things. The good thing is you can find it in literally most of the food, so it's very rare to get vitamin B5 deficiency. The symptoms of deficiency will be fatigue and headache and irritability, okay? The food sources, meat, whole grains, egg, dairy, these are fantastic sources of all of the vitamin Bs. There is a warning around excess use of this vitamin by the UK MHRA, so the quantities should be less than 100 milligram if it's to be used on a daily basis. And the reason being is too high amount of it can cause nerve damage, which will be numbness, tingling, so it's actually dangerous, okay? So it's really important to stick to the recommended daily allowances for them. The next one is vitamin B6 or pyridoxine. The important thing about pyridoxine is it is involved over 100 enzyme reactions, and the two important things is it's very essential in making the hemoglobin, your red blood cells, also some of the neurotransmitters, including serotonin, including dopamine. So it does have a huge effect on your energy, your blood, and your nerves. Your body does store a fair amount of it, so around a couple of months worth, and it stores most of it in your muscles, so your blood level can go down faster than the storages that your body has got completely. If you don't have enough, so the deficiency symptoms are fatigue, low mood, mouth ulcers and cracked lips, as well as if it becomes quite severe, it can cause a specific type of anemia, so not having enough blood cells, as well as peripheral neuropathy, so you get different pains and tingling and numbness feelings. The best food sources for it is meat, fish, poultry, potatoes, bananas. These have got a lot of good amount of B6. The next one we're going to talk about is vitamin B7 or biotin. It's really important in the synthesis of fatty acids. It's also essential for skin and hair growth. It is widely marketed for these, so there's no supplement for skin, hair and nail that doesn't have biotin in them. Okay, your body does have small stores of it, and usually deficiency doesn't happen because it is available in a lot of different food. Again, if food intake gets disrupted by whatever reason, that can bring the deficiency of all of the vitamins, vitamin Bs. Now, the deficiency of B7 or biotin can show itself with hair shedding, it can show itself with brittle nails and with skin rashes, okay? What are the important food that I've got it in? Liver is really good, egg yolk is really important, as well as nuts and seeds, salmon. And there's one interesting warning about this one. So if you have high strength biotin or too much of it, it can interfere with a lot of the common blood tests. So it can cause the blood tests not show the thyroid amount correctly, okay? In general, if you're having a blood test due soon, it's good to come off all of these extra supplements a couple of days ahead. One point I want to make is the amount that you get from natural food like fish, bananas, potatoes, chickpeas are all within the recommended daily allowances. What we don't want to happen is you're going after supplements that are higher than this recommended daily allowance. That can be harmful for you. And then the final two are vitamin B6 or folate and vitamin B12 or cobalamin. These two are so important and essential that I'm going to do a whole video just dedicated to these two. And the reason being is the folate or B9 is essential for the DNA production and red blood cell formation. The B12 is important for your nerve functions and your memory. And the other important thing is there might be medications and supplements that you take for side effect management of the GLP-1s that can actually affect these two. I will cover them in more detail in a separate video, okay? Now it was a brief of which ones are the vitamin Bs basically. So how do we manage them? What do we do? The first important thing is always lifestyle and diet, okay? So if you feel tired, the first first important thing that you want to do is look at your food. Is your diet intake enough to support this fantastic machine of a body that has to do so many different metabolic functions? Okay, so have a quick list of what are you taking day by day, and that could give you a good understanding of what are you missing in your food. And it's really important to try to fit in as much as you can nutrient dense food like protein heavy meat, poultry, eggs, dairy, as well as some whole grain, which is fantastic with fiber and protein, as well as pulses and green leafy vegetables. Now, as a starting point, if you feel that you're getting a good diet but still you're feeling tired, it's not a bad idea to start with a B complex. Okay, so it's got the moderate amount of all of the vitamin B's that actually work really well together. Okay, that can help replenish all of the vitamin B's at a good amount that will help you feel much more energized. Another important point is try to avoid these mega doses, super high strength supplements are not regulated as strictly as medication. So some of the high dose supplements are actually causing more harm than actually protecting you and making you feel more healthy. So don't go for mega dose. For example, high dose of B6 causes nerve damage by itself. High dose of niacin causes liver stress. High dose of biotin can interfere with your blood tests. High doses of folic acid can mask vitamin D, B12 deficiency. Okay, so these are some of the things that we want to look at. When you're on your weight loss journey and you're taking GLP medications, you don't have that much of an appetite. So that means you might not get enough of the nutrients. So, or you might feel averse to certain kind of medicine. So I hear a lot from people that they say, I'm just being put off from egg. I can't bear dairy. If that's the case, be mindful to make sure that you get the good amount from the rest of the food options. What's the things that you need to look out for? If you feel there is some tingling or numbness or burnings in your hand or feet, or you've done all of these and you still feel really tired, that you just can't shake off this tiredness, or you feel your concentration is being affected, you're having brain fog still, these are times that you want to make sure that you go and see a doctor, get checked, get blood tests done. As a recap, the vitamin B group are a super important group of vitamins that affect our energy levels. They are also important for our blood cells and our nerve function. We don't store that much of them in our body, so regular daily intake of them is really important. If you've got any questions about how to take your supplements, which medicines have interactions with these, feel free to reach out to us, subscribe to this channel, and we're here for that clinician-led health advice. Thank you.